Some stories are true crime, some are paranormal. But here, you won't just hear them, you'll live them. Put on your headphones. Welcome to what lurks in the shadows. You are drowning in February, and the weight of everything unsaid sits heavy on your chest like wet snow. On your desk, accident forms you promised your dad you'd collect still crisp in their manila envelope. Your computer screen glows with half-finished nursing assignments, care plans for patients you'll never meet, medications you'll never administer. Outside, the University of Massachusetts Amherst looks exactly like what it is, a place you no longer belong. Gray slush clings to the curbs. Wind cuts through your jacket and makes every breath feel borrowed. 4 days ago, the call came through while you were working campus security. Your sister's voice, broken, telling you about the rehab, about the relapse, about how their fiancé took her straight to a liquor store on the way home. You said just 2 words when your supervisor found you sobbing at your desk. My sister. But the words couldn't capture the avalanche inside your chest. How Kathleen's addiction was your burden too. How everyone's pain somehow became yours to carry. Now it's Monday, February 9th, and you've decided enough. You craft the email to your professors with surgeon precision. Death in the family. The lie tastes like copper, but it gives you what you need. Permission to disappear without questions. You pack your dorm room methodically. Textbooks because part of you still believes you'll come back. Running clothes because movement has always been your prayer. A week's worth of everything else. At 3:40 p.m., you're at the ATM on North Pleasant Street. The machine dispenses $280, nearly everything you have. The security camera captures you alone, your breath forming ghosts in the cold air. Next, the liquor store. Bailey's, Kahlua, vodka, a box of Franzia wine. The cashier doesn't ask questions. You don't offer answers. Your Saturn coughs to life, that familiar rattle your dad keeps saying needs fixing. The rag he told you to stuff in the tailpipe, his bandage for a wound too big for band-aids, shifts as you pull away from campus. At 4:37 p.m., you check your voicemail one last time. Then you silence your phone and point north. Route 112 cuts through New Hampshire like a scar. The road you remember from family vacations, when the White Mountains meant hot chocolate and your father's stories about conquering trails. Now it means something else. Escape, maybe. Or an ending. The accident happens at 7:27 p.m. exactly. Your Saturn slides on black ice at the sharp curve, the steering wheel suddenly useless in your hands. Physics takes over. Metal meets snow with the sound of everything breaking at once. The airbag explodes, filling your mouth with chemical dust and the taste of your own fear. You sit in the silence afterward, engine ticking like a countdown. Across the road, Faith Westman peers through her window and reaches for the phone. The call comes into the Grafton County Sheriff's Department at exactly 7:27 p.m. Single car accident on Route 112. Black Saturn. Young woman standing outside. Butch Atwood, the school bus driver who lives just down the road, stops his bus when he sees the scene. The woman by the car seems shaken, not injured but rattled. When he offers to call police, she declines. "I've already called AAA," she says. She hasn't. There's no cell service on this stretch of road. Everyone local knows this. Atwood drives the 100 yards to his house and calls 911 anyway at 7:43 p.m. At 7:46 p.m., 19 minutes after Faith Westman's initial call, Sergeant Cecil Smith's cruiser arrives on scene. Headlights sweep across the abandoned Saturn. Driver's door unlocked, windshield cracked, airbags deployed, a box of red wine behind the driver's seat, partially empty, red stains on the ceiling, wine, not blood, a Coke bottle that reeks of alcohol. But Maura Murray is gone. Thursday, February 5th, 10:20 p.m. You're manning the security desk when Kathleen calls. Your older sister, the one who's been fighting the bottle for years, tells you about being discharged from rehab that evening, about how her fiancé, also in recovery, took her straight to a liquor store on the drive home, about the relapse, about the shame spiraling through both of them like drain water. You talk for 10 minutes. When you hang up, you think you're fine. 10:30 p.m., you start crying and can't stop. Your supervisor, Karen Mayotte, finds you staring at a nursing textbook, tears streaming, completely unreachable. She walks you back to your dorm at 1:20 a.m. When she asks what's wrong, you manage just 2 words. My sister. Saturday, February 7th. Your father arrives from Connecticut with $4,000 cash and determination. He's here to help you buy a new car. The Saturn has been smoking, coughing, dying slowly. You spend the day car shopping in Hadley and Northampton, coming up short of what you need. That evening, dinner at Amherst Brewing Company with your dad and your friend Kate. Normal conversation, normal laughter. Your father drops you off at 10 p.m., loans you his brand new Toyota Corolla for the night. The party is forgettable. The drive home at 2:30 a.m. is not. Sunday, February 8th, 3:30 a.m. The Corolla meets a guardrail in Hadley with the sound of $10,000 worth of damage. Police arrive. No citations, no breathalyzer, just a shaken young woman and a father woken up in a motel room to retrieve his daughter and his crumpled car. You stay at your father's hotel that night. At 5 a.m., you use his cell phone to call your boyfriend Billy in Oklahoma. What you say to him remains between you and the voicemail system. Monday, February 9th, 1:13 p.m. Call a classmate about returning borrowed clothes. 1:30 p.m. Email professors and work supervisor about the fictional family death. The lie that buys you a week of invisibility. 2:05 p.m. Call 1-800-GO-STOW for information about Vermont hotels. You don't make reservations. 2:18 p.m. Call Billy. A conversation you'll never have. 3 p.m. Leave campus forever. You collect the insurance forms, withdraw $280, buy alcohol, drive north toward mountains that once meant safety. By the time your Saturn kisses that snowbank, your week has become a house of cards in a hurricane. The midnight breakdown 4 days ago, the $10,000 crash 2 days ago, the lies this morning, the alcohol in your backseat, the rag choking your tailpipe. You step into air so cold it feels like breathing broken glass. The Saturn sits at an impossible angle, nose first in the snowbank. Rear wheels still on asphalt. Steam rises from the crumpled hood like the ghost of forward motion. Butch Atwood's bus rumbles past. He stops, asks if you need help. You decline with the confidence of someone who's been lying all week. He drives away, taillights disappearing around the curve. Silence returns. No cell service, no witnesses except the stars. You have a choice to make. The clock starts now. At 7:27 p.m., Faith Westman calls 911. At 7:43 p.m., Butch Atwood calls police from his house. At 7:46 p.m., Sergeant Cecil Smith arrives on scene. Total window, 19 minutes. Not 24 hours, not even an hour. 19 minutes. 19 minutes for a human being to evaporate. She was observed by multiple witnesses, seen standing by her car, heard speaking, confirmed present and accounted for. Then, in a window smaller than most lunch breaks, she became a ghost. If someone took her, they didn't stalk her for weeks. They didn't plan for months. They simply had to be in the right place at the right time, ready to step into those 19 minutes of vulnerability. If she ran, she couldn't have gone far. The woods are dense, the snow was deep, the cold was killing. If she died by misadventure, her body would have been found. This isn't Manhattan, it's rural New Hampshire. 19 minutes isn't enough time to travel beyond the search radius that came later. The terrifying truth is this: 19 minutes was sufficient to erase a nursing student, sufficient to break a family, sufficient to create one of the most haunting mysteries in American criminal history. Somewhere in those 19 minutes, between a 911 call and a police cruiser's arrival, Maura Murray stepped through a door that only opens one way. And 21 years later, we're still waiting to see what was on the other side. If this story unsettled you, follow What Lurks in the Shadows on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening now.